All right, welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show here on this bye week or improvement week Friday, second bye week of the year, and I've talked kind of about it all week. I kind of enjoy the bye weeks for Ohio State. I say have to. Like going down to the games is awesome, but it is an all-consuming day when they're at home. My kids love to go now. I like to go down. But
do you really? What do you like about going down, Bob?
Because you can have some drinks, you can walk around. Like I enjoy walking, and number one, interactions with just Brandon Buckeye fans that like want to talk and hear about it. And like that's fun. It's good.
How do they approach you? They're like, "Oh, Bobby Carpenter."
Yeah, and sometimes they'll come up. Can we get a picture? Sure. Here's my kid. Here's a picture of you and my kid from 20 years ago. Now my kid goes to Ohio State, and I'm like, awesome. I looked a lot younger and Buckeyes. But just kind of, and then like walking out after the game, hearing people, their thoughts on the game, usually displeasure about, despite the fact team's undefeated, covered every spread. I think we should do this part of the defense, or that we need to throw it more, or we're not running it good, and like whatever. So all of that stuff, I enjoy that. And then getting a chance to like go down there, hopefully see James on the sideline, watch the players, have my kids experience that, get a chance to talk to Ross, what's going on, if President Carter's there. Just like it's a communal gathering place. And what's nice is in the second half of these games this year, they really haven't been all that competitive. The irony is the game that you're most concerned, not you say concerned, but the game that was the tightest right out of halftime was the Ohio University game. Like that's the irony of all of this, is that was the one that's like, hey, it's OU, Ohio State, going to be fun. And that's the one where they rip off the run. Like, okay, I thought we'd get a stop, 3 and out, get the ball, go score. False. They rip off one and go down and score. So it's been good to kind of talk through some things, see what's going on, this evolving landscape of college football and how that ultimately looks. A lot of great stuff in here. We've got the T-Bob thing from Good Morning Barstool Schlegs, which I don't know if you got a chance to listen to all of it.
Oh, why is it so terrible to be an Ohio State fan?
Did you hear the whole thing though?
No.
Okay. You're going to love it then. Gosh, you're going to love this. T-Bob is my guy. LSU dude. Anyway, but that's why I like going down to the games. Just everything that goes around all of it. But then the problem is like if there's other great games in the window and Ohio State's up by 24, I'm trying to watch that, but then trying to check on games on monitors and different things or on my phone. So that's the one negative. Then if it's away, we watch it at the house, obviously, and my wife always wants it on the full screen, which I do like to start out with. But I'm like, dear, this game's they're up by 21. Like I need to watch some of the other games that may be a little more competitive. Not that I don't have an eye on it, but you can do the quad box and do that. We have another TV beside it, which it's not truly big. I mean, you could do an octabox, and I haven't wheeled in my TV that's on the stand to get 3 TVs.
I like the Eiffel Tower box, Bob. I like the three-way box because then you got the three-way box
can really help you because the screen really isn't any bigger. Like there's still.
Well, it is. The right side of the screen is
a little bit, marginally bigger, but I have a 55-inch on wheels that I can bring in the stand. I have a 65-inch mount, and then I've got probably like a 30-inch that goes like in a cupboard that kind of opens with the old school stuff. And so it's in there, and I'll usually just have like the primary next best game on that after Ohio State, and then Ohio State on the big one, and then maybe the stand. So that's how I do it when I'm watching. So it'll be fun. I know the coaches, they'll be out recruiting. We'll talk a little bit about that, and then improvement week as well. But yes, like that's why I enjoy going to the games, but also enjoy a little bye week to spend some time with the family as well.
Totally get it. Where do you want to go?
All right. Improvement week. Let's start with that.
Do it.
Before we get to how terrible it is to be an Ohio State fan by T-Bob Hebert, son of Bobby Hebert. What does the T stand for, Schlegs? Why do they call him T-Bob? Do you know?
Testosterone.
No, because it's Trey, like Trey.
Old dog Trey?
Old dog Trey. You know what his son is called? Quad Bob.
Trey?
They call him Quad Bob because he's the fourth. So he's like, you're a T-Bob. You could be a T-Bob if you wanted, but not really from Louisiana. But we'll get into that in a minute. We've talked a little bit about, the right guard situation, trying to figure that out, the running back mix, how that looks, but really some of it too, is you get to work on some special situations. And Ryan, this was a little different. First bye week, amp it up big time.
Yep.
Make sure that everybody's honed in. Now you're kind of towards this stretch run, but you want to make sure you're staying physical, still working on some of the run stuff, working on special situations, areas that maybe you've struggled a little bit. Wrapped all that up on Thursday evening. Today's day off. Some of the guys getting some treatment. And then coaches go out. They go recruiting.
Yep.
And the players get to go home and hang out a little bit, maybe go back to their high school. Of note, final weekend in Ohio high school. We'll be playing tonight, week 10. Playoffs start next week. Austin Saravelch, Buckeye's own left tackle. He will be getting his jersey retired tonight at his hometown. So I know that's a big deal for him.
Cool.
But that's kind of the cool stuff that they get going.
And it's the end of October, and your bye week is on a great weekend with great weather, so they should be in a deer stand. So I'm just saying, it's amazing.
Glad it's amazing to you. All right.
I want to get into this other stuff because you and I already discussed how we're opening up, and I want to get you.
Okay. Well, let's talk to this then, Pat. Start this out about a minute. It's about a 2.5 minute clip.
Okay.
And the ending is really the best part. And this is T-Bob saying it's terrible to be an Ohio State fan. And people are defending it. And because you just want to feel alive. Like when the games aren't close, does it really feel as good? And this was the argument going back and forth because T-Bob was saying you get to sit back, relax, kick back. Like how enjoyable is that? You need some, what does he say? Pain, whatever. Let's just play the clip. We good? There we go.
Have an extra step when you wake up in the morning. You have an extra cup of coffee. You have double fries.
You're lifeless.
At night, you're going triple potatoes. No, you're going Haagen-Dazs ice cream. You're really banging it out. Listen, Ohio State is now looking at perfection. And when you're going after perfection, there's nothing you love more than doing it. And got to cover the spreads.
No.
Got to cover the spreads.
No.
And they're going back to back.
You're spoiled.
You're poo-pooing back to back.
You're spoiled. You're lifeless.
How are they spoiled?
You're
Ryan
trying.
Davis' heart's been broken his whole life.
You're trying to find
year.
excitement anywhere you can because all you do, your plate is full every Saturday. You're going to Les Wexler's best friend's island just to feel something. Okay. Ohio State's.
That was a crazy throw. You're talking like an LSU fan. You're talking like you're bleeding LSU. You're embarrassing. You're
good.
At
least I know on the lines, too. What if Patino's
okay with that? I get it.
See your son being embarrassed.
Well, you know what? I
just
put on
need to
there.
feel alive a little bit, Schlegs, by going to your best friend's island.
Yeah, I here's the thing. I was like, I just put out there kind of why they watch, and what I watch is I'm watching and consuming football, and I'm watching and consuming. And I know it's different.
Feel alive, though, Schlegs.
I feel great. Something? Like I'm going to tell you this, guys. This is real talk. I don't like being around other people because they're stupid, and I know I don't want to put myself in a situation that I could potentially do something stupid, right? So how is that? Surround yourself with 105,000 people that predominantly don't know a damn thing about the thing that they're watching. And then me have a personal relationship with a majority of the people that are on the field representing that, and then add alcohol into the mix. Not necessarily even by me, by everybody else and what I want to do. So again, my lull for not going, I'm always excited about watching all football because I'm picking up something, whether it's on Sundays, Saturdays, Fridays, or Wednesday, Thursdays. I love it. I love the sport. So when I go out there and cheer them on, I always do feel alive because I think that they're not even close to where they could potentially be.
Yeah.
And that's exciting in and of itself. And I like the good stories that is college football, Bob. I like the Indiana story. I like the story of LSU, of where he's from, and the chaos that is that. I love the fact that Marcus could be 4-2. I do not like the fact that they got ranked after being 0-2. I do not like that. However, I like the fact that you can battle back and still be in the mix and show improvement. And Chris Ashton, a coordinator, coming along and like they're getting better in that area. I like the fact of Penn State, not a coach being fired, but the saga that went on. Like that's the drama that you sign up for in college athletics as a fan, with Knowles going there and where they are in that. And like, that's interesting, but I don't need Ohio State to micro manage or dissect the things that they do on Saturday. We do that because we talk about it, but I don't need the highs and lows of a game. I'm like Jim Tressel. He taught us well, Bob. I'm just kind of like this all the time in my fanhood.
Yeah, in my fanhood. I am with you. It is hard because when you have the personal relationship with those guys and know like what they put into it and how much they care, it stinks to see them struggle and then to obviously hear the criticism, that stinks too. But let's turn to the positive page, Schlegs. Let's talk about a guy in Taiwan Malone who transferred.
Do it. Talk about him.
Transferred here, I believe, from Ole Miss, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Now,
I think so.
He played baseball down there too, Schlegs? I think he was like a first baseman and third or first baseman, I want to say. Transferred here, hasn't really produced the level that people had hoped, but Pat, if we can throw that up, like he's starting to look a lot better and made the big play on the shuffle pass against Illinois, starting to do some things. And Ryan Day commented he's thriving right now in this defense. You're seeing a bounce in his step when he's in there with the guys. We're all together. You can see we're strong inside. And so that's big because that was one of the pieces. They were trying to find depth and trying to find guys who could play inside and what that looked like. And he was supposed to be one of those guys when he got here. Never really cracked in last year. And now that he's kind of been given some opportunities, you've watched him grow through the first 6 weeks. And sometimes Schlegs guys just have to make a play. And, you have to get pointed out of like, hey, you've done a good job. Like, you can do more of this. And I think that was the thing with Taiwan. And now you watched him go make a great play against Illinois that saved the touchdown at the time, just grabs a guy raw and like throws him down with one arm. He was doing some of those Encore peck fly Schlegs, just cranking it up full, just peck fly, throw him to the ground. And now it seems like he's got a little juice to him.
Dadgummit, Bob. I had a quote that I saw the other day that was so good for this exact moment. Here's the deal.
Wrote it on your hand like Mike D used to do.
Yeah, I remember that. Viper. I'm a V. I love it. Anyways, so transfers in, completely different. Took some time. And what I remember from 24 and then even seeing now to what Ryan alluded to, a bounce, like a little smile, a little presence, how he's practicing and carrying himself. Remember we talked to you guys about the 10-80-10. It's like that's one of those guys that was somewhere in the 80 that's growing into being in that 10, what you want. And so, but it does take time. And I think so many people just do not understand the development, and they're all different. Well, it's the strength coach, it's the position coach, it's the guys. How about this? Sometimes it's the athlete wanting the responsibility of being great and what requires of that. And I'm not just talking about him personally. Some of the greatest hesitation that people have is the fear of being elite and what is required when you are so. Like, there is a lot of responsibility that comes with it. You guys might, a lot of people want the notoriety, they want the flash, they want all the smoke, but they don't want to work for it, or potentially some of the baggage that comes with being that guy. And therefore, it takes time to accept, like, no, that is what I want. And through encouragement and relationships, it starts to happen and they make the decision. That's why I always say it's always about the players. Ryan says it's always about the players. Your job as a coach is to extrapolate that greatness that's within them to reach their max potential. And it does not happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. Yeah. And that's why, like, I watch this. I watch a guy that I saw and know of a year and a half ago and him stepping up into this moment. And that excites me. That gets my juices going.
So the coaches' jobs, I mean, they're like a juice press. Like, you got to squeeze every last ounce out of these guys. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. The thing is, so Taiwan transferred in with with Davidson Igbinosun. Both of them are like Jersey, New York guys. Taiwan's a Bergen Catholic guy from up in North Jersey, right by New York, transferred here. He actually won a national championship with Ole Miss on the baseball team, which is wild. So he's won a national championship now in 2 sports. Heck, maybe he could win 3 with another one in football over the course of his college career. But there's a chance that he could have probably transferred after last season. He wasn't getting to play. He's still kind of buried on the depth chart. And it goes to his character of continuing to grind and waiting for that breakthrough and like working, not just waiting, working for the breakthrough that'll ultimately happen should you push and push hard enough. And I believe that if you ever push it hard enough at anything in life and you put the requisite work in behind it, like you'll be able to have your breakthrough if you have the innate ability and talent. And if you look at Taiwan Malone, he has those things in spades. It was just a function of would he be ready to be able to do it? And would he be patient enough to continually work? Like to wait, what? Chop wood, carry water every single day until your time has ultimately come. And he got his chance, made the most of it, and now he's starting to play really well. And so the fact that he chose to stay and his stick-to-itiveness is amazing. And so there's an unbelievable story that I ran across on
this is fantastic, y'all.
And we're going to get to it next about an Ohio kid who left here a long time ago, 40 years ago, to go play football. Could have transferred. I was always kind of salty that he didn't stay and go to Ohio State, but a great player coming back and playing in the NFL. And he talks about his story. And this is why this is one of the evils of the portal, because it gives you an easy out. We'll talk about that here next. But FanDuel, they've got an offer you don't want to miss this NFL season. New customers, bet $5, get 300 bonus bets. If you win, that's right. Pick a bet $5. If it wins, unlock $300 in bonus bets that you get to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet the player props, ride those live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel, they've got you covered. The NFL season is here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio or present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Had a great NBA joke that I was going to slide in there, but I figured, you know what? It's been a rough couple of days for them. Find out about this guy and why the portal would have probably been the worst thing for him coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lakespur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lakespur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And this is one of the things with transfer portal. I think there are some good stuff. Lincoln Keenholtz, talking to some of scouts and things. I'm sure Lincoln's going to transfer after this year. Going to go get a chance to play somewhere else. Probably going to be a hell of a college quarterback and have a chance to play in the NFL. He's done it the right way. That's how the transfer portal should work. And guys that work really hard, do it the right way. Don't pout. Try to get better each and every day. Take advantage of their opportunity, which he still may have opportunities. Schleichs.
No doubt.
No one, I don't know. I mean, only that's between him and the Almighty. Like, no one knows how this is going to ultimately work out for him. But you stay and you keep doing the very best you can, and then you take advantage of, maybe an opportunity that presents itself. And if not, you go somewhere else. You have a great relationship. You learned a lot. You have great teammates and friends, and you go try to better yourself somewhere else. But this guy, and this is what happens so often, and it happened to me when I got to Ohio State, and I'm thinking, man, I'm not going to probably play here right away. These guys are so much better. By the way, it's really stinking hard. It's psychologically exhausting. The physical element of it is one thing, but it's really, Schleichs, as you know, it's the psychological element of just getting
the psychology of it.
The psychology of just handling the competitive environment every day. And when you're used to having a lot of success, not having success wears on you, and trying to find a pathway. If you're a competitor, trying to find that pathway of like, how do I get to my goal? Most people are good, highly competitive guys. If you can show them the path, dude, they will. It doesn't matter. Schleichs, that path can be overgrown and through a jungle. They'll bring the machete, they'll start chopping, and they'll find a way to get there. But they need to be able to see something, an overgrown temple in the abyss that they're going to get to, that will ultimately be their goal. And so Bernie Kosar, a Northeast Ohio guy, goes to Miami, Ohio. or Miami, Florida, rather, goes down to the U. And it always bothered me that he left, hearing like the story, but he goes down there, he's playing for Coach Schellenberger, and it's unbelievable advice that was given to him then. And he's down there and they've got other great players. He ultimately wins the national championship, but this was something he sat down and talked about. And if there was a transfer reporter there, maybe Bernie Kosar has a different story.
Up at University of Miami, I had Jim Kelly and Vinny Testaverde, and there was a freshman, so I thought I'm completely screwed. I'm Youngstown, Ohio, no money, no job. I'm in Miami, like nobody likes you. You're this fifth-string quarterback. You look like Twiggy with a Brillo pad on your head. No girls like you, no players like you. I saw the situation materializing. I got a little homesick. I was afraid. So I go to Coach Schellenberger. I'm like, Coach, I'm going to be a career backup at best. I got to transfer. I want to play football. And he goes, you could run home to mommy. And at 18 years old, if you do that today and you run from a challenge today, your whole life you will run from a challenge. Suck it up, obsess on it, and fail.
2 out of 3 isn't bad. Bernie did everything but fail. He won the starting job as a redshirt freshman and led Miami to their first ever national championship.
We're number one. Okay, Bernie Kosar. That's the greatest coach right there.
And I heard that, and I didn't know all that story. Like, very rarely, do you ever get a chance to kind of hear what's going on in someone's mind at any given point during a very difficult situation. And being able to get those windows into there of understanding why they stayed, and ultimately what happened. They're going on to have a great career at the Cleveland Browns and winning a national championship when you thought a year before you should probably transfer because you were going to be a career backup.
Yeah. Well, I just think here's the deal. There might be instances where you don't get along with a coach. And again, some of that you can battle through. There might be other opportunities. It might be a logistical thing. You can never judge an athlete why they do transfer. But when in terms of competition, that's the one that you always want to push back on, Bob. And that's why also you and I are both in agreement that as an incoming freshman, you should have a 2-year deal with the school that you go to, because it takes time to adjust not only just to the college lifestyle, being on your own, but the competitive nature that is college football and what is in there. And being able, like you said, Bob, it's not just the physical, because we're seeing great freshmen coming out of high school and adding value and contributing in college football this year alone. But it's the mental aspect. It's the length of the season. And you can say, oh, but they play 16 games in high school. Yeah, that's if they're good enough to go to the state championship game. But it's not just that. It's the taxing of spring football, where you are on the depth chart, the money situation, NIL, the third uncle, school, females. I mean, name it. And dealing with that on your own for the first time in your life. So what Bernie did was he chose discomfort, right? Tom Ryan's talking about chosen suffering. Like, he chose to go down a different path. He worked through it and got better from it. And that's kind of the point. And that's why it's so important to have the relationship, because you have Buckeyes that are starting right now at Ohio State that was in Bernie Kosar's situation. And they're there and they're playing at a really high level. And that's when I go watch guys, that's the stuff that I like to see, because you and I, Bob, are, privy to a little bit of the backstory in terms of people's success.
Yeah, you get to watch the process and watch them grind it out. And Cody Simon was that guy last year who
for sure
grinded for 4 years to ultimately get to that 5th season where he became the Blocko and all of those things. And so sometimes it takes longer for guys. And so that's why we talked about Taiwan Malone Schlegs in the last segment, kind of leading into this, where he transferred to Ohio State, probably thought he was coming up here and it was going to be the land of milk and honey and he'd be a starter and everything would be great. Well, things didn't always work out that way. And he knew he was sitting behind some other guys last year that were really good, probably didn't rotate and play as much as he would have liked. Probably thought about transferring. We know what happens. Hero Canoe transfers. Edric Houston has some things going on. And then all of a sudden you're getting in there. Yep. But when the old adage, man, the old adage, Like, the secret to success is being ready when the opportunity comes.
Mm-hmm.
Presents itself. Like, what have you been doing during that time? And so for you look at, the young linebackers like Riley Pettijohn's a great example. And Matt Patricia talks about him. He's super gifted as a player, but being able to mentally lock in and continually going at it, which, like, here's the difference too in high school. You're used to being the best player on your team.
Right. You're always engaged. It's fun.
You're always engaged.
Playing the entire time.
Yeah. When you're the fourth or fifth linebacker, you're the fifth receiver. Like, how many people are really coaching you? Like Quincy Porter, it's like, all right, well, I'm behind JJ Smith. Like, how often am I going to be the guy? Well, you know what? All of a sudden, Ennis gets hurt. They slide Cardinal Tate in. If you've been preparing, now you've got to go play that. Can you be ready to go when your name is called? Like that's how those things work. You're Isaiah West. Like, you've been playing. Maybe you thought you weren't going to play this year. And it's like, are you preparing yourself? Are you putting yourself in position? Because maybe there is a crack. There is an opening there. Yep. But are you ready to go walk through it? Like, have you put yourself in that situation? And in the second bye week, Schlegs, that's kind of what it's giving some of these guys.
And have you also, even if you had a hiccup in the road, are you continuing to get better? So if you get that opportunity again, I mean, we're talking all the time. Like, we're talking Division III football, Division II football, people that I know, baseball, doesn't matter, whatever it is. And it's like, hey, and it was the thing that there was a great clip from Tom Brady. It's like, hey, I only got 2 reps, but those are like my Super Bowl. Those are the best 2 reps I could possibly get. Are you willing to be satisfied with just 2 reps? And that kind of goes with it. All right, yeah. So what? You did something. You had a couple personal fouls. You're not starting anymore. All right, when you go out to practice, are those going to be the best 10 plays of your life? Is it that serious to you? That's the thing. Is it that serious to you? And you know what's cool is that we're talking about this, and it's great to, it's terrible to be an awful Ohio State fan because there's nothing to worry about or whatever to get your juices going. But honestly, guys, like, that's the stuff that gets my juice going. Because that's what I like to see when the field happens. Like, it's not that we know them; it's the stories behind it. And I think that's the different thing. We know, Bob, the work that it takes. We know the work that it takes, the discomfort that it takes to be able to go do those things that a lot of people aren't privy to. And that's okay. You don't have to be.
Absolutely. But you know that the work that goes in. So that's when I hear people come down and this guy's not that good or that guy's not whatever. They're like, come on.
I will never talk. We never talk about it. We might second guess some coaching.
Well, I'll say like players, guys need to play better. But I really get upset when they're like, this guy's a bum. I'm like, you can criticize guys' play, and that's okay. Especially if it's obvious, you talk about it. They've worked hard. Like, they need to play better at these certain situations. You need to play better at this position, whatever. But like criticizing the guy, knowing the work that went in, everybody's going to have bad plays. It's a function of how you can come back and handle those. Speaking of juice, Schlegs,
okay,
a lot of juice coming out of here. Great story of how NIL is supposed to work. And one of the premier athletes you are going to find now in all of college sports just landed a big deal this week. Yes, we will talk about that here coming up next. But first, parents, athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouth guards, trusted by professional athletes, designed by an NHL team dentist. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. They feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber. They 3D print them right to your grill so it fits snug for more protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication. That way you focus on the game, not the gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguard.com/Bobby today. Save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show and Schlegs. JJ Smith, obviously, all world, everything. You know, people are complaining maybe he hasn't been quite as productive this year, but did land something huge. And it was awesome, the promotion with it. He got his face on a can. He's out there with Chad Johnson talking about it. You know, the great Bengals wide
Ocho
Cinco. Jeremiah Smith is the first athlete to be featured on a Red Bull can. Big applause to him for that. Great job, Buckeyes. That it talks about the power of the Buckeye brand and his involvement in what he is and what he can be moving forward. Got a sweet jumpsuit on there, Schlegs.
Look at that jumpsuit.
This is what
is that, velvet?
NIL
is that velvet?
Was that velvet?
It looks velvet. Got that Adidas. That Adidas jumpsuit.
Well, he's got an Adidas deal, Schlegs. That's a little code branding right there.
Hey, and here's the thing, guys. It's like that's how NIL is supposed to be. And I would say this. I love the way Ohio State handles the portal. I love the way Ohio State handles recruiting as of right now. And here's the crazy thing. As you go and you talk to coaches, and guys, here's the deal. Of all the people that are out there talking, like Bob and I have intimate relationships with a lot of guys that could be head football coaches, okay? And I say this. I actually had a conversation yesterday. I said, hey, when you go interview, speed date for these jobs, I highly recommend that you interview the athletic director and you interview the school president and see if they're on the same page. Because you're not going to be able to win in this era if they're not. And I know we're talking about JJ, and it's all part of that puzzle. It's how do you put these deals together? How do you get your stars to be able to go get paid like that without you breaking the bank to support that and understanding and leveraging your brand as the Ohio State University, that when you bring recruits in, like, listen, I know you like Florida, but Florida's brand is not Ohio State's brand. It's another level brand. And that's what you want to be associated with. It's all part of the value prop when you're recruiting kids. You don't have to win them with money all the time, but you sure and heck better be able to have plans in place that you can get on some kind of money.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal there. And then also there's some rough news, Pat, if you can pull that Justin Fields stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the thing that's hard because we watch these guys play, you care about them, and sometimes you got to be honest with your assessment of are they playing good enough and are they not. And Justin Fields did a great job here at Ohio State. Was robbed at probably an opportunity to play for back-to-back national championships. Do they beat LSU? I don't know, but they should have at least had a chance to play for it. By the way, that officiating crew,
that guy got suspended, Bob.
Yeah, they got suspended. The guys who ruled the targeting, ruled the fumble on or the non-fumble, the incompletion after Jeff Okuda stripped the ball out after he took like 6 steps, and they're like, nope, incomplete. I'm like, incomplete? The guy ran from the hash to the numbers with the ball in his hand. What are we talking about? But Justin Fields unfortunately got benched. You can throw this up, Pat. And this was his talking about. And this is a guy who's got perspective on things. He's been through a lot of coaches. I thought he could have NFL success and maybe at some point in the future, when given another opportunity, but he's just been through so many systems. But it's really revealing to hear this. Let's listen to him.
I'm at peace, brother. That's what it is. Like, when you're like really in tune with God, like nothing can actually nothing. I'm talking about nothing in life. Like, I'm not even gonna speak to what I was about to say as an example, but literally like everything around me can quote unquote be negative in terms of the world, but like I promise you there's nothing in this world, there's nothing that can faze me, and that's just due to my relationship with the Lord. It's not on me. Like I told you guys after the game, like if it's just me, yeah, I'm sick to my stomach right now, but everything happens for a reason. I've been through trials, I've been through tribulations, and I've learned that everything happens for a reason. So like I said, I'm not stressed whatsoever. At the end of the day, I have my family. I'm healthy. I'm blessed. I get to play a sport, for a great amount of money. It's a child sport. I've been doing it for so long. So at the end of the day, I'm blessed. And that's kind of what you have to, keep reminding yourself of when you are in a position like this. Like, yeah, it's easy to get down and feel some type of way, but, look at the grand scheme of things. Like, somebody would love to be in this position right now. Like,
gosh, it's great. The last piece of that, someone would love to be in this position. That's something that Tress would always say. It's impossible to be grateful and unhappy at the same time. And that's when you have gratitude. You have gratitude that maybe your situation, Schlegs, isn't what you had wanted it to be, and it's not going the way that it is, but you've got the peace there through your faith, and you understand that there's a lot of gratitude for the wonderful things that you have been given, the blessings that you've had so far. So he's one of my favorites, man. I've always enjoyed Justin. I've thanked him for coming to Ohio State and everything he did and what he meant to this university and how he was Ryan's like first quarterback and what he was able to do and get that thing launched to where it was, they had Dwayne, then they had him as a first round quarterback, and you got that momentum going to now where, I mean, guys come here and they expect to be developed to become NFL quarterbacks. We've got our headlines coming up, Schlegs, and they're good, be pretty good. There's a couple of good little nuggets in there that we're going to get about some rankings, and then some big news in college football about some stuff that players now are going to have the opportunity to do. First, I want to tell you about our friends at Backer. They've got the best products you're going to find for college sports apparel, the coats, the jackets, the hats. bckr.com. Go check them out. They've got all of the features and functionality you love. That looks great. It feels even better, from windbreakers to rain to cold. They've got it all covered for you. Go check it out. I've got the stuff. I've had to wear it now because the weather isn't good anymore, and it has been tremendous. The rain jacket Schlegs kept me nice and dry all last Sunday. So go to BCKR. That's backer.com. Free shipping right now. So go check them out and get your stuff ready for Christmas or just the cold weather as it's on its way. Our headlines are coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, Schlegs, our guy Ben Scott Stevens, there's a little history that was made this week and some stuff that hasn't happened ever or hasn't happened in a long time with teams being ranked. And we'll see if they're able to stave off, some upsets and some different things. But throw that up there, Pat. Indiana's going to be welcoming in UCLA. They are an overwhelming favorite on 4 touchdowns. Georgia Tech almost about a touchdown and a half over Syracuse. And Vanderbilt, just a 2.5-point favorite, but they play Missouri. But toss
That's
this
at
up
home too.
to the rankings, Pat, with what Ben said, just some historical things with where these teams are, Schlegs, has been pretty impressive.
Bob, it is pretty impressive. I didn't think that was the stat that you were pulling up, but that's okay.
Not the stat that I wanted to have pulled out.
Yeah, I know that wasn't. So here's what I am going to say. What you just mentioned, the fact that it's almost Halloween where the fangs come out. You got Vandy sitting there. I mean, hell, man, I remember when Missouri was terrible. I got recruited by Missouri. I was like, I'm not going to Missouri because they're owing everything every year. Terrible. Yeah. They're good, right? Like all the Georgia Tech being in the top 10. Who would have thought that, right? I mean, and here's the thing. To me, college football is becoming like professional baseball. You have ones with huge caps and you have ones with small market, Cleveland, the land, the guards, right? And they're able to compete and battle, but then all of a sudden just the talent overwhelms you. You still have a puncher's chance, but it's there. And we're seeing teams do that, right? Virginia, Bob, right? So Vandy, Georgia Tech, like they're in the mix.
Here's the thing from Ben's deal, since you chose not to acknowledge it, Schlegs, and went on the screen. Indiana, number 2, highest ranking ever. Georgia Tech, number 7, highest ranking in October since 1999. Back when that was before both of us were in college, Schlegs. We were in high school. Vandy, 10, the highest since 1947. That was probably before Big Raj was even born.
Nope. He's 45.
45. There you go. So he was 2 years old wearing his Commodores onesie out in Dubuque, Iowa. So there's a lot of history being made. So The only team I think that's really at risk at losing is Vandy this week, and because they play Missouri, who also is kind of out kicking their coverage this year.
Hey man, that's Syracuse, bro.
Syracuse. If they beat Georgia Tech, Haynes King, he'll be in a very, very rough spot psychologically. And then there's some big news, Schlegs, with this about college athletes. We're just going to touch on it right now. I think we're going to open up.
Touch it. You know it.
Open it up more next week. But they came down with the ruling because right now college athletes are not allowed to bet on any professional sports that you also play in college. So that basically just horse racing, I don't know, boxing, UFC, stuff like that. But you can't bet on things that they have in college. Well, that is changed as of now. As per Nicole Auerbach, college athletes can bet on pro sports beginning next Saturday. All 3 divisions voted to approve the change. And what's interesting is people always said, like, oh, these guys, once they can get influence with money and things like that, they'll have the opportunity. And there's risk of, malfeasance or game integrity. And with the Chauncey Billups stuff pointed out, like Chauncey Billups has made close to $500 million, Schlegs, and these guys are still like Terry Rozier's making $26 million, and these guys are still doing stuff like that for $10,000 and different things, like smaller amounts. So I don't understand it at all. So,
and here's the thing, Bob,
the money doesn't matter. It's not going to prevent it. So
it goes like the NIL. It goes in the same thing with the portal. What we're trying to NIL in high school, we just talked about it. We're trying to protect what the student athlete. No, you're always going to have the third uncle. You're always going to have the family that's going to be there. You're always going to have yourself making irresponsible decisions with your money. We've all been there and done that, regardless of how you protect them. And with these kids, like, you're a grown adult, like, you're betting on it. So make sure you manage it. Right? I mean, I'm constantly talking to my 19-year-old about it. Like, is that what you want to do with your money? All I know is this.
So like,
this is me personally, guys. This is me personally.
Is win.
I don't gamble. You know why I don't gamble? Because I'd rather go buy hunting equipment. Or I'd rather go to like the road.
You could buy more if you win, Schlegs.
No, why? No. I work too hard to make it in the first place. Maybe somebody just come walk a day in my, like, how I like to work, my work day. And you're like, no, man.
Walk a mile in Anthony Schlegel's shoes.
It's not difficult. I've never worked. I don't think I've ever worked a day. Hell, when I was in high school and I was unloading ceiling fans, I made that crap competitive. Me and Frank Flores, half Korean, half Mexican, my guy, get out there, and we would race to see who could stack the pallets up, like the fans up the fastest, and like do the forklift. We didn't have no forklift certification. We just zip it and boom, time.
Sounds like
You're
California
terrible.
with CDL, Schlegs.
I don't care. Right. It doesn't matter. So I don't ever work.
We got to get to our tailgate talk, Schlegs. We're getting long in the day. Our headlines are brought to you by our friends at Lake Spur Marketing. They
long and strong, Bob.
On delivering positive and powerful results. They're a full transparency marketing agency who will be with you every step of the way. They're in constant communication with their clients. Lake Spur Marketing, they don't have one set it and forget it strategy. Their tactics will be customized to fit your needs and the needs within your industry. Don't trust the experts. Trust Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in their partners. Visit them at lakespurmarketing.com today. Our tailgate talk, we answer your questions and a little Thoughtful Thursday from Tim Walton coming up next.
Oh, yeah.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, Schlegs, now we have our tailgate talk. We've got a little Tim Walton. Let's get that fired up here, Pat. Winning in life, Thoughtful Thursday.
Life ain't easy, but every day is a blessing. If you don't make good decisions, you'll learn the lesson. So attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, and mirror what you admire. I took advice from my mentors and I refurbished it. I took what I learned in life and I repurposed it. Treated the good thought like nourishment. Then used all the negative chatter as encouragement. I have a vision, which is more than sight. Remember, the #1 goal is to win in life. If my message hasn't sunk in, I keep going. The #1 job is to teach you know what you may not be knowing. So let me get this great plan and start from the beginning. No matter what you go through in life, we gotta be winning.
Like, you want to follow
Honestly,
that up somehow?
Based on the reaction, that was his best one ever.
I told him
Best one
best
ever.
one to date. It was good though. It was really good with everything going on.
He was
right
rhyming.
here.
He was rhyming.
He was. He's the rhyme.
He was
it's rhyme
flowing.
time. Rhyme time. What else, Legs? Is there anything else that you want to touch on in Tailgate Talk before we turn the page to your parting thoughts inside Nuggets?
Well, I mean, I just, you don't have to throw up the graphic, maybe. Here, I'll put it in the group chat. I think there's a couple things, Bob. There was the one on Ryan. So if you guys don't know this, Ryan had a really good thing for mental health, and maybe we can do that on the next one.
Let's do that. Let's do that in the parting thoughts. We're going to take
hey, listen. Okay.
Take a quick break here, Slags. You're going to handle that, and that'll be fun for your side nuggets and parting thoughts as we wrap up the show.
Okay.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lakespur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lakespur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
Bam, hey, welcome to the Bobby Carpenter Show. And here's the deal, Pat. I'm going to put the link in the chat here for everybody to be able to do it. And guys, I'm just going to say this. I think you should go listen to it. One of the things was we want to be there for them, understanding that you have physical health and mental health. And Ryan and Nina Day have donated a lot out of their own money for the children's hospital and the mental health and their different charities that they do. Like, I saw him at a country concert. Part of the proceeds were going there. And him and Nita are working their absolute face off. And he's dealt with stuff in the past through family. And guys, it's a real thing. We deal with kids all the time. And you don't know where people are in their journey day to day. People are messy. And so that's one thing I always tell even when it's difficult, and when we talked about earlier in the show, people are messy. But here's the thing. I actually saw another clip of this on Instagram, and it was somebody that I didn't even know that played here that transferred out, but he just loved Ryan Day. And these guys love Ryan Day. And I think the reason that they have that passion for Coach Day and their staff and what we saw previously in OG Walden, what he does for the guys, is that they're pouring life on life. They're growing. The athlete is growing. They're always constantly looking for ways to making each other better. You saw a great nugget from a conversation with Matt Patricia talking about Larry Johnson. Guy's been a D coordinator, won multiple national championships, leading on a college defensive line coach who he highly respects. That's a culture. That's what they're doing at Ohio State. I hope you guys enjoy the games this weekend. They're going to be fun. They're going to be juicy. And then guess what? Monday, we're talking about it. We're getting ready for Penn State. Have a great weekend. Attack and dominate. Go Bucks. Bobby Carpenter Show.